Uh, the pumpkin that I'll never see, the pumpkin that broke my heart.
Welcome, everybody, to a new episode of The Physical Cut, where films live beyond the screen. Today, we're going to be talking about the art of the box. My name is Carlos, and I'm joined here today with John, Mr. Spooky Season 95. How are you doing, John?
Doing pretty good. Glad to be here, man, to talk about this with you. I'm excited to talk about this topic in particular just because I feel like, over the last 2 years that I've really been, like, collecting, I've really it's really evolved into, the box art of a release has a very heavy impact on whether I purchase it or not. So I'm definitely interested to talk about this with you.
Yeah, earlier we had a long conversation. We're going to try to bring it back later on and towards the end of the episode about some recent art that came out, and we're gonna be expanding on that topic a little bit later. To be honest, like, when it comes to the packaging, as collectors, that's always a major reason. I would say collecting habits have changed drastically, at least for me. When it comes to new releases, I'm not a big first day purchase buyer just because a lot of the art, not just on the cover, but also like, poster wise and all that kind of stuff, the effort is not really reflected there. And I've noticed that throughout the collecting, a lot of the stuff that I've been finding myself buying are more classic films, more cult films that they put back out there. They put a little bit more effort, not just to resell them to us, to like present it to a new generation, but when you're making a purchase, you purchase it just because you want to discover the film. You purchase it because you like the art. Because there's always a thing about not judging a book by a cover. But when it comes to a movie, that is more of a visual medium. And I feel like that's something we always have like in the back of our minds, which is like, oh, this movie has to be fire because the cover art looks great. The movie might not be so great, but the cover art is a killer. So do you collect on that?
I feel like, unfortunately, I'm a victim to blind buying an awful lot. I do think that the cover art has a lot to do with that. If something comes out now, I love the horror genre so much that I want to see the movie. The movie itself is the driving factor of me being like, oh, I've never seen that before. I want to discover that film. I want to watch that film. But I definitely think when that film gets released or re-released with better cover art, it is a driving factor of me being like, okay, I've never seen it before. I may hate it, but I'm just going to buy it anyway because I'm going to watch it. And I'd rather watch it with my own physical copy versus going and watching it somewhere for streaming if I can even find it at that point.
Yeah, streaming, good luck. But I feel like you say horror, and I feel like that is probably the best example of where a lot of the detailing, a lot of the effort is really placed on is in horror. And I don't know why. I would say horror is probably horror collectors are probably the most that invest in films when they say like, oh, these are the numbers for physical media. In my head, I'm like, yeah, like I would say 90% of that is just horror fans buying the same film over and over. And like you said, you love the horror genre. I collect horror. I do also go buy the cover art. There's a lot of horror I don't know. 88 Films, I think they do probably some of the best covers I've seen in a while and affordable. But they probably do one of the best covers and they invest a lot of time. I'm gonna die in that soapbox saying that if you're gonna give me a special edition, give me a booklet, give me something in there. And I feel like horror does do that. They do spend a lot in investment in these films, especially Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I love that cover, the steelbook. I complain a lot about steelbooks. That came with just the disc, but I'm like, the art is so freaking good. I do like the regular 4K slipcover edition. I liked it. I still haven't bought that one. I don't want to overpay for it, but I also have an edition. It's in Spanish with Killer Clowns, and it's the original cover. I didn't need it. I had to buy it, just because I love Killer Clowns. It's one of my favorite campy movies, and any edition that comes out, I will buy. And it's because the art for that film never gets boring. I think it's Arrow Video who put it out that has that
Okay.
horrible cover. That's a horrible cover for me. I would not buy that one.
The Arrow video of Killer Clowns is what you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That's a horrible cover art. I'm like, I would not buy that one. But I think horror does spend a lot of, at least like the horror community, they're pretty lucky. We do get some great cover art for that. I feel like collecting films at this point for me, when it comes to the cover art, it's the same way for books. I mentioned before, and people who know me know that I love Stephen King, and I have different covers of it. And I try to collect as many covers of it that I can. The movie, I have a few versions of it. Before we started recording, we were talking about Scream, and my Scream section alone is just basically more than half of that shelf. The Steelbook, regular Blu-ray, regular 4K, 4K special edition. When it comes to horror, we have the pick of the litter, I believe is what they say. We have so many editions to pick from. Usually a regular release doesn't even get a 4K anymore. So it's like, but not just horror. We do have some great John Wicks out there that are pretty bomb. I have one that is completely sealed. I think it's the one that comes with the map. It's like a thick 4K special edition. I also have the Amadeus special edition box set that is staying nice and sealed in my shelf. But is there any film that you have purchased just by looking at the cover and are like, yeah, I need to buy this film? And then you buy it and it's the shittiest film you've ever seen?
I'm trying to think of a movie that I bought, watched, and was like, "Oh, man, this is absolutely atrocious." I'll be honest, it's hard because even some of the cheesiest, dumbest horror movies, like, I still like them, which is why it's difficult for me to, like, feel like I'm confidently recommending a movie to somebody just because I know for a fact that, like, I could watch a movie, it could be the worst movie in the entire universe, but I might still if it's horror, I might still like it. If it's cheesy, if it's stupid, I might still, find it interesting. Like, one of the movies I watched, not super recently, I watched Motel Hell for the first time, last year, and that movie was kinda crazy about, like, the whole plot of the movie was kinda nuts, but I liked it, even though it was kinda crazy, so but, like you were saying, I mean, I'm sure I've bought something, watched it. I can't think off the top of my head, but I'm sure I've watched something and then I've thought, "Why did I buy this?"
I mentioned to you that Demon Wind was one that had me all over the place when it came to the sound. It was campy. It made no sense to me. I still don't know what the hell the movie's about, but I I bought it mostly because it had great reviews, great word of mouth. I did not like the film, but I do like the cover. I bought the standard Blu-ray. The 4K is out of print, and I'm glad I didn't spend the money for the 4K. But I feel like another movie that I've been wanting to get my hands on for a while now. It's Let's Scare Jessica to Death from Vinegar Syndrome. The main reason to buy the film was because of the art cover. The box is just a beauty. And again, it's the attention to the details that a lot of these boutique labels put into these horror releases, and not just horror releases. We have I believe it's cinematograph. I want to pretend I'm French here for a second, putting out these boxes, like these amazing box sets for these films that, you know, a lot of people either have no knowledge of or just completely forgot. I was a little pissed off this week because Barnes& and Noble had the sale for, Vinegar Syndrome, and I ordered at close range, and I was suspecting the beautiful box set that they have for the same price in Vinegar Syndrome that I didn't buy when Vinegar Syndrome had the sale, and I just got the plain 4K. And I was like, no, this is going back. This is going back. This is not what I paid for. This is not what I want. I'm not trying to be bougie or anything like that. It's just that I have some of that line of vinegar syndrome, but I want to continue with that line. And I have the Congo, I have the Joy of Sex, I have a few titles from that line. And I want to continue with that beautiful box set, like the detailing, the content, and some of them are just plain Blu-rays. I did not one of them, I think Joy of Sex is a plain Blu-ray. I thought it was a 4K, but, the detail was so good and the movie looked so good that I didn't even, think about it twice. But I don't know about you, I feel like sometimes the cover, do you consider that part of the experience of the movie?
I mean, I feel like I could deal if I like the movie enough, I can deal with anything. I mean, when I first started collecting, my goal wasn't like boutique label like releases and special editions. I really just went to my local flea market. They have a movie store in there. So I went there, just bought up a bunch of Blu-rays, just regular standard, cases. So if I like the movie, as long as I own the movie, that's like the most important part. As my collecting, I guess, journey continues, the box art just elevates the experience, I would say. I don't think it necessarily like if I didn't have the nice fancy box, I would still be doing it, but I think having the nice fancy collector's edition definitely just makes it feel more premium and makes it feel like I have something that appreciates almost the love I have for the film.
Right now right now, I'm excited and scared. One of my top 4 is Eyes Wide Shut, and I know you collect more horror, but I don't know if you're aware there's a new version, UK edition coming out, steelbook. I know that we got the same cover for Barry Lyndon. We saw that before they even put it out. We know it was gonna be the same cover that came out for Criterion. I think the changes are very minimal. It's a steelbook. It's a pretty nice steelbook. It doesn't have anything. I haven't opened it. Not gonna open it. For Eyes Wide Shut, because it is one of my favorite films, I'm kinda scared that it's gonna be the same cover Criterion put out for their 4K release, which, by the way, that is another thing that pissed me off. Criterion, you have Kubrick and you have 2 movies already that have this beautiful, digipack in your collection, and then you go and you put out Eyes Wide Shut, which has been waited for so long to be put out on 4K, and then you give us the middle finger by putting it in a plastic box that the movie barely fits, by the way. The movie barely fits. We have a Nora that came out last year. 2 months later, you have it in a digipack or digibook. Why will you do this if you already have a director in your catalog? I know that they do this to Wes Anderson too. I don't collect Wes Andersons, but I'm pretty sure that people who do collect Wes Anderson are probably pissed about it. Like, it doesn't look the same
Yes, it
level.
doesn't look uniform. It does not like
Yeah,
and that
is that it
that
doesn't
is that's the
exactly.
big thing. You want your releases to look uniform. That's
Yeah,
why that's why 2 of my favorite, boutique labels right now, Second Sight and Arrow Video. Most of
oh,
their
for
stuff,
sure.
super streamlined, everything matches, you put it on the shelf, it all goes together perfectly. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
N I think I have a few releases from Second Sight. I think I have 1 box set. But that's because I like the movie, so I bought that box set specifically. I got 2 when I first discovered Second Sight. I just bought 2 regular 4Ks just because I didn't wanna invest in it. I think their quality is pretty good. Arrow, I have a bigger shelf. I do have a few Blu-rays from Arrow. I have a few regular 4Ks from Arrow, but when it comes to the box sets, I'm a little in between when it comes to, like, the slipcover before the box because I feel like they're getting a little thinner. I don't know if it's just me or if it's a fact, but I feel like those those little slip covers are getting thinner and thinner by the day. But I do like that they're very uniform. You can put them next to each other. They all look great. Even when you have a release like Psycho, I have the box set of the 4Ks, and even then, that looks uniform when you put it next to each other to Deep Blue Sea and all the other titles. It just looks cohesive, like they're all aligned perfectly.
Yeah.
I wish I would have bought Ugo when Criterion put out The Last Emperor, I think it was. I didn't buy the Criterion, that's why I'm kind of blanking out on that. But I believe it's The Last Emperor. I went to the shelf. I'm like, I've seen this title before. No, like, wasn't this the Academy Award winner film that I still haven't seen? And I go to the Arrow section. I was like, yeah, I know I had a big box set that I got for like $25. And it's the 4K. It has the poster, has the book. It's a thick box set, like the nice type that Arrow does. I collect Criterion, so I question myself. I'm like, do I want to buy another edition of this film because it's Criterion, but I have a beautiful box set from Arrow? Why would I want to double dip? But I feel like if you're an Arrow collector and you're a Criterion collector, if you're more of one than the other, I feel like that's probably where the decision will be easier of like, no, I'm definitely just going to go with Criterion. But if you're in between that you admire these companies equally, it was an easy decision. I'm like, I don't need this edition. I'm good with the Arrow one. The Arrow one compared to the Criterion kicks ass. Like there's no reason for me to have to buy this stupid plastic that Criterion put out of this, you know, Academy Award winning film. That's sometimes the arguments that I have with Criterion. They really dropped the ball with that Ice White Shut release. It doesn't really affect my viewing experience when it comes to like the cover. It does enhance the experience. For me, once I watched the movie and I loved it, I was like, damn, like I wish I would have gotten a better box. Like I wish I would have gotten more content in here.
Right. Something to match the appreciation and, like, love you have for the movie. That's the
Yeah.
thing, and also, it shows you too, like, when a studio comes out with a nice premium, collector's edition or whatever it may be, it also just shows you the love and care that they put into it as well. Because, like, I mean, you come out with, like, a standard plastic case for a film, that's cool, and I think another thing that's, I would say, maybe even more important than the box is the extras. Like, if you cram a bunch of new good extras into the release, then maybe you could make an argument that like, "Oh, well, we didn't give you the crazy packaging, but we gave you all the extras." But the packaging, it just does something. It makes you feel like you're buying it from someone that appreciates the film. You have something that showcases your appreciation for the film. I just think it's super important.
There's a few covers that I have. I gotta say, I gotta give a shout out to the Scream Factory Halloween. So I'm kind of mad though that the last two I don't have in that beautiful hardcover box. I have the
Right.
slipcover on those, and I'm bitter about that. Yeah, the 4 and the 5 I don't like too much, but it would have been nice to have all 5 in that beautiful box set. You know, every Halloween, I put the 3rd one out. I know the 3rd one is probably the worst, but let's be honest, the 3rd one has the best cover art.
Yes, the 3rd one, the art on the
Yeah.
3rd movie rocks, and then on top of that, when I was younger, I used to hate the 3rd movie because Michael Myers is easily my favorite horror villain slasher. The fact that when I was younger, I felt almost baited. I watched Halloween 3 and there was no Michael Myers, and I almost, like, flipped out, like, "What in the hell is going on?" But as I got older, I watched the movie and completely separated Michael Myers and say, "You know what? Act like this isn't even anything in the Halloween universe." And the movie itself is good. Like, the movie itself is good. It's not a bad movie. It just suffers from the fact that people assumed Michael Myers was gonna be a part of it, which he was not at all.
True. It's funny because Halloween 3, like you said, it's not the best. Well, you like the movie. I don't think it's the best movie. I think the scariest part of that movie is the creepy relationship between the main characters. I'm like, ew. But aside from that, the movie is just, I like camping movies. I love John Waters, and but you give me a camping movie that I don't think the movie was intentionally meant to be camp while it was being made, but I
Right.
feel that that's why it works now because it is so campy. I played the first Halloween religiously every Halloween or Christmas. I really don't care. But it's because I like the atmosphere. As soon as I go outside and a leaf is falling, I play Halloween. Like it could be summer outside, but if a leaf hits the floor, Halloween is playing.
Immediately you got to
Now,
watch Halloween. Every time I'm
immediately.
around, you just
Yeah.
watch Halloween.
But another third part that I think has a pretty good cover, and I think is also, I want to say a Scream Factory, is The Exorcist 3. Uh,
Mm.
I hunted that cover for a while until I finally found it for a good price because online it has sold out on Amazon. I believe I bought it through eBay, brand new, third party. And that cover is so good and it captures the movie so well. I don't mind. I have both covers, but the alternative cover is so beautiful. It doesn't even look like an Exorcist movie. I want to put it next to maybe End of Days or Constantine. The cover looks very sci-fi to me, and that movie has a great atmosphere. I would say I like The Exorcist, but I gotta say that movie is so much better. I don't know if people are gonna bite my head off for that, but I feel like The Exorcist 3 is probably better than the first one. It's so well made, which we don't really get a lot when it comes to sequels. Comparing it to the Halloween sequel, 3 is definitely totally different leagues. But I gotta say that is probably one of the which I didn't pull out today, but in the back of my head, I was like, should I talk about that cover? It's a shout out to that cover. And honestly, Scream Factory does a lot of great covers. Sometimes they miss, but a lot of the times it's a hit.
Right. I agree. I don't know how I feel about the 4K Halloweens, the Screen Factory covers for the regular one. Like the third one, I think they did a pretty good job. The other ones, I don't know how I feel about it. Not that they're bad. I don't think they're bad. But it's kind of the same way I feel about, I don't know if you're familiar with the covers that are on the Chucky movies or the Child's Play movies.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Arrow
those are
Arrow
horrible.
Video Collection.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, I have the Arrow video collection, I like the collection, but, like, the artwork on the covers, I'm just like, it kinda gives me, like, an uncanny, "Is that Chucky?"
Yeah.
Kinda off a little bit.
Yeah, he looks beautified. Is it maximizing? What is it that yeah, I'm sorry, I'm too old for these words. But I believe the kids today are maximizing, and I feel like that's what they did to Chucky. They maximized
Yeah, it
Chucky.
just it's like they took whoever was the artist was, shout out to whoever that was, but they did their own style, they did their unique take on the covers, and it was basically like the different Chuckies for each movie, and I don't wanna bash it like it's horrible, I don't think it's, horrendous, but it's
Yeah.
just not my style. I like the collection itself overall, I think it's pretty good, but that art style, I think just doesn't complement the franchise very well.
No, I agree. I think it suffers because the Chucky you start with, I mean, they all do it. Chucky has been in this business for I don't wanna say how many years because that will probably put me in that same category, but, everybody does their own glow ups, he got a few things done. He doesn't look the same in the 5th movie than he did in the 1st. Hell, he doesn't even look the same in the series, like, in the series,
Right.
completely different than he does in the 5th movie. I feel like because of that, the art also suffers, which I'm like, "You know what? It's a Chucky collection. If the doll is beautified in one or 2 CGI in one, just use the we all know it's Chucky. Just put the same Chucky in different poses throughout all the films. I don't mind it. I'm fine with that. The other one that I didn't pull out, but I do got a shout on is also Arrow. I feel like they really kill it with these covers is the Hellraiser box set. I put down my pre-order for Shatterer because I know he doesn't have a big role in the movie, but it's one of my favorite Cenobites. When they put him in the box, I'm like, "Yep, nope, I'm done. Just
Yeah.
charge me whatever the hell you wanna charge me. That is my boy." I I don't like the other Cenobites too much.
I'm jealous because when I was getting the Hellraiser collection, I did not initially know that there was 2 versions of the packaging. I didn't know there was
Mm,
Pinhead and then there was the Chatterer. So, I got the standard Pinhead version, and then I found out later that you could get, I'm assuming, I think it's, is it the UK
yeah,
limited? So, yeah,
yeah,
you get the one with the Chatterer, and I'm not gonna
yeah.
lie, that box is sweet. I wish that, looking back, I wish I would've went with that one or found that one. I'm
Mhm.
still happy with the Pinhead one because it's awesome, but the Chatterbox is easily the better one,
I
easily.
th I think I had to go through Arrow UK to get it because I know I was having trouble logging in, and then when I did my order, it wasn't showing on my email. It was a little hectic trying to track my order, but that's probably one of the biggest satisfactions that I have when I put money down. I usually don't pre-order stuff. I really don't, just because sometimes I really just don't care. Again, if it's stuff that I like, the Scream 4, I ordered that because
Right.
I know Scream. I'm gonna buy it regardless, and I know it's been selling out. I got the second wave. Actually, no, I got it on the first wave. I think it sold out right after I bought it. And yeah, I put my money on that because I know Scream 4. If I'm not a big fan of a film, I'm not gonna really invest the money up front.
I know, I agree with you on that. I think I'm the same way too. Like most movies, especially if I don't know them, or especially if they're like not something I like a lot. I might like them, but not a lot. Like I won't really do any pre-orders with stuff like that. It's really just big franchises that I know I like the Nightmare on Elm Street steelbook set. I knew I had to pre-order that. And like items like that, I'll pre-order. But when it comes to smaller releases that I'm not really sure of, I'm definitely not going to give some of my money months ahead of time.
Last week, I was thankful that the pre-order that I did, which is the Welcome to Dairy, that was a good investment, I would say. It was a good release, and I'm like, when it comes to pre-ordering things and I get a surprise like that, when I get a package like that, and it makes it even more exciting opening it because you know that the quality that you're getting is good, which I
Yeah,
feel like that's probably something that I get with Arrow and that I get with Vinegar Syndrome. There's a few films that I've ordered from Vinegar Syndrome. I ordered like I think it was like $240 in Vinegar Syndrome. I didn't like half of them, but I gotta say they're not going anywhere because I do love the cover. Sometimes even if I don't like a film, I do try to find something that it's either creative. Like if I'm seeing a B horror film, I'm not gonna put them in the same category as a Hollywood backed horror film. As a matter of fact, sometimes these
right.
Hollywood backed horror films suck compared to some B movies that cost $10,000 to make. Creepazoid. I bought that at Haitian Re where they had the '88 film sale. And I didn't know shit about Creepazoid. I think Aaron Horror, he does the horror videos. He did a Creepazoid segment, and I told him, I'm like, oh, I bought the movie. I bought it because I didn't know anything about the movie. It had a great cover. And so I bought it blind buy. I didn't hate the movie. It was campy, and I take it at face value. So, when I discover stuff like that, at least when it comes to horror, I notice that I buy stuff that I can stare at. I'm like, they're gonna be on my shelf. I wanna be able to stare at them. I don't
Yeah.
know the film. I don't know much of horror. I do know Academy Awards. I know musicals, but when it comes to horror, I like to explore it by visual, just picking up the box, looking at it, and then I'm like, "Okay, let's explore this film." And then the film turns out to be kooky and stupid and poorly made, and it gives it character, it gives it some quality that really, it brings me a little bit of joy at least to like, "Okay, well, this movie was bad, but the cover is good. The movie is campy." I forgot what was the title of the other film that I hated so bad that I loved it, and a friend of mine was like, "Yeah, you just gotta rewatch it again." I was like, "No, it's fine. Let's just stick to the one memory that I have of watching it." But it also had a pretty good cover, and I'm like, "Let me just take it, and I'll discover if it's good or bad later on."
Well, I'll tell you what, going off of that, and it just hit me. I know you asked me earlier if there was something that I bought that I watched, and I was like, "What the hell is this?" Going off of what you're saying about how you like got it because of the box art, and then you watched it and it was real campy and real. I just remembered the movie Rumpelstiltskin.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I haven't bought that one.
Rumpelstiltskin. Terror Vision came out with an awesome version of Rumpelstiltskin. I'm in love with the box art they have for that movie. So I thought I had seen the movie a long, long time ago, but not like it's one of those things where like I couldn't remember it. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna buy. I love the box art. I'm just gonna buy it. I'm gonna watch it when I get it. And I did. As soon as I got it, I went to go watch the movie like the weekend after I got the box. And it was the campiest shit I have watched in a long time. It was wild. And like I said, I like weird stuff like that, so I still like the movie in a way. Is it something I'm gonna watch all the time? Probably not. But it's one of those things where I bought it, I'm like, "Oh, let me check this out." And I started watching it and I'm like, "What the hell did I buy?"
What movies do you have in your collection that stand out, or like at least visually stand out? And is that part of the reason to buy them, or did you also get enjoyment from watching the film, or it's just like, oh yeah, no, I just love the cover on this, I bought it, it's sitting on my shelf.
I would say absolutely. I got a couple things sitting next to me here. The first one, which is probably one of the favorites that I have in my collection, is the Second Sight Blair Witch
Oh
Blu-ray.
yeah,
I'm literally in love with this version. I know a lot of people are really critical with Blair Witch, and I get it.
those people suck. So
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
my thing
yeah.
is, when I was younger, I felt like I was scared of it because there was a part of me that almost thought it was real. Because I know,
Yeah.
like, not that I was really, I guess, old enough to watch it when it first came out, but even when I was a little bit older, a couple years after the movie had already released, I remember still seeing things about it being real, and I kind of questioned it. So that's what kind of scared me as a kid when I watched it.
Hmm.
But now that I'm older, when I got this, it had been a while since I watched it, but after I got this set, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna watch Blair Witch. They have the festival cut in this, which is awesome. So I went back, I watched the festival cut, and now that I'm older, the thing that actually gets me about the movie that I still really like it for is the feeling of dread and isolation that are trapped in the woods. The fact that it's like the feeling of hopelessness because after a certain amount of time, they start realizing that they're screwed. You ain't getting out of the woods. So that that feeling of being trapped in the woods like that and like slowly losing their minds because they're trapped in there, I feel like that's really why I like the Blair Witch, like, now that I'm older.
I remember because I grew up with the whole promo of this film. Like I remember me in school going to the website, and back then internet wasn't. It was slowly coming, but internet wasn't the big thing back in the day. I remember sitting down watching with my cousin watching the website, and I was like, "Holy shit, these people really died." And we were like, there was no promo. There was all over the news. It's like, oh, like these people in the woods and this and that. And
Mhm.
do keep in mind, I think when the movie came out, I think I was back in Puerto Rico, and even there, it was such a lore, it was such an event behind this movie that I can only imagine how big that was, and I wasn't in the city back then in New York City, and I also didn't have friends back in New York City. I have friends in Long Island, but I don't know how big the movie was here in New York City. Hell, I don't even know how big the movie was in LA, where you have the movie capita. I saw it in theaters. I shit myself, and then I went to Blockbuster, and I'm like renting the VHS was just, and I feel like The Ring was also another one that it was like that. I actually went into The Ring without knowing what it was. I just remember seeing the art and I was like, it's so vague. It doesn't say anything. But then after it came out, renting it, and it's this VHS that is cursed that if you watch it, you die in 7 days. It was so epic putting this movie for friends of mine. I did have a voice changer because, and I love Scream. So after my friends watched the movie, a few hours later and stuff like that, we would prank call them and do the 7 day thing. And they would be freaking out. Like they would be freaking out. The next day in school, you see them bags under their eyes. They can't sleep. But I'm like, yo, really? You just saw the movie. You know it's fake. It was so real. There was not so much internet access. I feel like that's, a movie quality we kind of lost.
Right,
A
it's like
movie
we were
experience that we lost.
because of the way it was back then, we were just so much more gullible. We just were
Yes.
so much more inclined to believe that, like, "Wait a minute, could this really happen?" Like, I mean, with, like, The Ring, It's like, I'm pretty sure within, the first movie, I like the fact that there is a certain part of the movie where all of a sudden it shows you the tape. Like you actually get to see the segments of the tape. And it's almost like while you're watching, you're like, hold on, did I now see the tape?
Yeah.
Then I'm like, what's that? What's
Yeah.
going on here?
That movie experience, it has been lots. Obviously, I'm not gonna blame internet for that. I admire people that go into movies. There's a few people that do reviews that they're like, "Well, I went into the movie without watching any trailers." And lately, I've been avoiding trailers because of that, because I'm sick and tired of trailers selling me something that is just the one scene. I'm like, come on, really? There's an experience that we're not gonna get because we're oversaturated with promos because now it's all about the numbers. The studios are not going to back you up if you don't make a certain amount of money. And studios want to market the shit out of something. And it's like,
Yes.
come on. Like,
And I tell you what, man, there's a trailer that recently came out that I thought was perfect. And I'm mad because they released another one and it kind of ruined it. But
oh,
the Evil Dead Burn trailer, the first one,
I
where it
haven't
was
seen it.
literally just oh, you haven't seen it. Okay.
Nope.
The
And I'm not going to see it. I'm not going to see it. Like,
yeah,
I'll see the movie. I'm not watching the trailer.
yeah, the first trailer gives nothing away. The first trailer is like a 30-second segment of like just crazy shit going down. And that's it. And it's like it gives nothing away of the story, what's going on, what's happening. And then it was one of the best trailers I've watched in a while because it had me right away. I was like, oh shit, I got to see this movie. But I knew absolutely nothing about the movie. And then, of course, like you were saying, how they always have to ruin it. Like a week and a half later, they released a longer trailer with a whole story arc and all that. And I'm like, yeah, I don't think you needed to do that, you know?
Yeah. I watched the first one on a plane. So I'll probably wait to watch the second one on the plane, just like keep the tradition. There's certain films that I'm like, okay, I watched the first one here. I want to make sure I watch the second one there just to see if I can have the same experience I had the first time. I didn't love the
Right.
first part of Evil Dead, Rise.
Rise? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't necessarily love it. There was a few scenes that kind of killed the movie for me. And but I ended up enjoying it a little bit because it was a very in-flight entertainment experience that I liked. Sometimes when you're watching a movie in a different setting, it brings a different kind of experience. And but the second one, I have not watched the trailer. I am not watching the trailers because if I go see it in theaters, I want to expect nothing and come out a little bit surprised of what I got. When you said that Evil Dead was killed for you, I feel like that happened with the Odyssey. Before watching Project Hail Mary, they were playing, I think it was like a 10-minute scene of the Odyssey. And I
Right.
was like, why does it look like this? But I think it's because the movie hadn't started, so they still had like the backlight in the 70 millimeter theater because it's one of the biggest in New York. So they have the lighting from the back. And I did the one in BFI in London has the same thing, but once the movie starts, it looks beautifully. But because the lighting in the movie theater was still on, the lighting in the film was kind of affected. So the darks looked gray, the fire looked washed. The quality looks so bad, but given that this movie is the biggest event of the year and you're playing it before a film that is one of the biggest events of the beginning of the year, you might want to play it in the highest quality possible. And
Right.
I feel like that killed the movie for me. I'm gonna go see it. I feel like every time I talk shit about it, my friend, it's like, just wait till it comes out. I was like, dude, but it's not about when it comes out. It's like what you're giving me now. I don't think it was Christopher Nolan's fault that the movie theater didn't put the proper lighting for the movie, or maybe it was meant to be like that. So when you see it, you're like, oh my God, the darks are darks, the brights are brights, the colors are colors, like people like to say. But if you're selling it to me, this is not what I wanna buy. And then you give me some art and some still photos that don't really align with my idea of the Odyssey. And maybe for some film bros, sure. I know probably the Odyssey is not your lane of movies, but there are people that die in the Christopher Nolan hill. I like them. I like them, but I like David Fincher too, but I'm not one to sit here and defend them to death. I'm like, they don't pay my bills.
Also, there is a level of when you're handling something like the Odyssey. I feel like there's a level of like as a director, he wants to put his own like flair on it. You want to do your own thing a little bit. But when you're handling something like the Odyssey, I almost feel like there's a certain level of accuracy to that original story that you want to stay with. Because if someone's going in, if someone loves the story of the Odyssey,
Yeah.
and then they go in to watch this movie and you've taken too many creative decisions or
Yeah.
creative, changes, like you're gonna kind of ruin it for your hardcore base of people who love the Odyssey. If you just love Christopher Nolan, then maybe you go in and you don't give a shit. You're like, hey, let him do whatever he wants to do, and I'm gonna love it anyway. But if you're a lover of the Odyssey, like the actual story, you might be disappointed because he's taken creative avenues that don't align with the original take.
I know you showed me the Blair Witch, that edition. I'm gonna say I'm a little bitter that I didn't get it. Did the 4K come out of the same edition, or was just that me?
I don't think there is a 4K because they basically the way it was filmed, I think they were saying basically 4K
No.
wouldn't even look right.
Did you pre-order 28 days later the
I did
4K
not.
that's coming out? I'm scared for that because remember that was recorded on iPhone, no?
Yes.
Well, yeah, so yeah, and I'm like, how are you gonna upgrade? I don't work in restorations, but being digital, you would think it'd be easier. I don't think it is. But it's probably gonna be look distorted.
Right.
I'm a little scared for that release. I do hope that it is a nice cover because we've been waiting for that release for almost what year is it? I don't even know how long. I don't know if you have a preference when it comes to slipcover or not.
I mean, I'll be honest with you, I'm not a huge slipcover fan. I mean, it I would say I prefer it over nothing. Like, if
Yep.
it's a standard case, like, I'll take a slipcover over a
Yeah.
standard case, but, like, I just feel like the slipcover, I mean, like, I'm always worried about, like, hitting them on stuff or, like, them, like, deteriorating over time and not looking good, like, I just feel like the slipcover is just not and like you said too, over time, it's like they're making them thinner and
Yeah.
thinner and cheaper, and it's kind of annoying. Like, in a way, I don't like them, but if that's all they're gonna give me besides a standard case, I'll take it.
Yeah. For example, I Bring It On. It's Shout Factory. I really don't expect much from them, to be honest. But the fact that I got a slipcover for that, that is one of my favorite comedies. I'm like, yes, that was a win. What I do is that I put them in one of those plastic protectors. I put them there and also movies that I have multiple copies of, or movies that like The Wedding Singer that I love. But a lot of the other films, either they're sealed or I keep them in a nice slipcover
Right.
protector. But yeah, the one that I really love that I picked out a few that are, I would say not, I wouldn't say mainstream because some of these are mainstream, but I picked them out because they're what I expect. That if you have such an epic event like Godzilla -1, you create something epic. You're giving me two booklets that I can't read. I don't read Japanese, but hell, I put the Blu-ray on and I ended up somewhere that it was not the movie, but this is, I mean, this is a release. Like, this is a freaking release. You're giving me 4 discs. One of them is -0, minus color. So it's like black and white. I sat down
Yep.
and I watched it. I it looked epic. Yeah, like the booklet itself, like the art and all that. I'm like, this is an investment. Sadly, I can't protect it, and I don't have another edition. I've been wanting to buy the regular 4K so I can somehow seal this one up and
Right, and
not
then
have
I
to.
wouldn't have to watch the movie.
Yes, because it's such a beautiful box, and I love Godzilla, I love King Kong. I know some of the movies that are out there are not the best, but he is one of my favorite non-horror monsters. Then when I mentioned Vinegar Syndrome, I actually had forgotten about Congo. Like, I remember loving Congo when I was a kid. It scared the shit out of me, to be honest. When I was a kid, I watched this movie a lot, more times than I can count. And having this beautiful edition of Vinegar Syndrome, it's probably not your type of horror. I think this is horror. I
Yeah, 100%. You know, funny, I was actually thinking about getting that exact version.
So then it comes with the slipcover inside. So you already got the
Right.
hardcover box in the outside. It comes with this beautiful slipcover inside, and obviously the Vinegar Syndrome thick booklet. Like, I love the smell. Like, I'm a person that I go to a bookstore and I start smelling the books. The booklets are so well done. The quality is so well done. And usually when I complain about a release is because we're so jaded at this point too. We get these amazing releases and it's like you put all this effort companies that probably don't even have the money as some other companies and studios don't even take the time to at least elaborate a little bit, give us a little extra when it comes to not just content within the discs, but also in the packaging.
Yes, 100% agree with that. And going back, that's one of the beauties of the Blair Witch Collection as well, is because it comes with the art cards. It's got a replica of the all-weather backcountry notebook. It's got, I think it's like a 186-page
Yeah, that's a
book that
novel.
all like director's notes and behind the scenes information. Like,
Yeah.
it's loaded. You can tell that they cared when they did this. It wasn't just thrown together and thrown out, you know what I mean, just to make a
Mhm.
quick buck.
But again, that's boutique collecting. Sometimes when a movie is coming out, I secretly hope that a boutique label takes it. I believe K-pop Demon Hunters. I was hoping that Criterion would get it just because I knew Criterion was gonna do something good with it, and they got the rights for the film. I'm just hoping they do a nice digipack for the movie because the movie was pretty good. I'm not a big anime person. I love Castlevania. That's as much as anime as I get. But at least like K-pop Demon Hunters, I'm like, this needs to be a very nice digipack, digibook, anything that is hard box, you have to give me for this. It won an Oscar. It won every award possible throughout the season. Give this a royal treatment. They put out that Wes Anderson box set that looks hideous. Like that it's hideous. Whoever bought it, I'm so sorry. It's hideous. It's a box. It's just a plain box. I'm like, I could take an Amazon box and put all my Wes Anderson movies in there. They probably look way better displayed than in that hideous box they put out. I think Coruscant puts out better box sets than Criterion has been doing. I feel like at the beginning they did put out some great cover art and packaging for Fellini. I have the Ingrid Bergman box set. There's a huge box set. They have Ines Varda. They're so nicely made. The Before trilogy looks beautiful, but then now you get into Wes Anderson, who's a very well-known director, and you do this shitty box set. I'm like, no, 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 no. I don't like their color trilogy box set either from Criterion. I got the one from Corson. It's freaking gorgeous. The restoration is probably the same because another thing about Criterion, they love to grab other people's restorations, usually Studio Canal, BFI, and Coruscant. They just use the same restoration. And maybe Criterion is the one doing it and they sell it to them. Maybe it's backwards. I just decided to save my money. When I travel, if I find it, I'll buy it. If not, I'll just order it on Amazon UK. What else have you got over there?
I mean, I guess the next one I'll show off is probably this It 2 film collection that I got. So it's a steelbook 2 film collection of It. Because my thing is like, I'm a sucker for steelbooks. I love steelbooks, even
Mm.
though I watched your video on when you were talking about steelbooks of how they don't really give you anything, and I agree.
Ah.
I think it's kind of ridiculous that they're at such a premium price point,
Mhm.
and you get nothing. You get the steelbook and the disc, and that's all you get. But I'm definitely a sucker for it. So when I found out that there was like a nice 2 film like steelbook set, I definitely had to get this. This is the second part. And this is the first part, and then the back of each one. And I like simplicity too. So just having like him holding the one balloon for the first part
Yeah.
and then holding two balloons for the second part.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in the back cover, that's pretty nice. I saw that on your Instagram, I think, and I was like, "Damn, I missed on this." And I remember seeing it online. I didn't know what it was. I thought it was a box set of both films, and I passed on it. I didn't know it was a steelbook until I saw somebody post it, and then I think I saw your post on it, and I was like, "Damn, I really missed on that." And I collect every version of it that I find, including the films, and that steelbook is that's what I say, like, those are quality steelbooks, like, the art on it looks amazing. I love the house in the first part. That's a nice touch. The house is a big part of the movie, so it has to be at least in one of the covers.
Yes, and the like, the outer casing too is, like, made out of, like it's, like, hard to kinda show, but, like, it's, like, made out of, like, a like,
That's
almost metal
titanium.
like a
Yeah,
metal outer casing.
that looks titanium, honestly. Yeah, you can really see the quality on that. You can hit somebody with that and knock them out.
100%, it is pretty heavy.
Yeah, no, that's a nice quality box set. That's what I would say, like, that's a good investment. As collecting, that's definitely a good investment. The one that I haven't posted on Instagram and I have had for, like, probably a month now, sitting on my desk to talk about it, is the 20th anniversary of Pride and Prejudice. I have not opened this. I got this on Amazon, like, this beautiful book. It's just a long box set, like, I haven't even opened it because it's so freaking beautiful, and it's not even to open it and enjoy. If I could find, like, maybe a nice way to wrap it up later on after, because I have the regular 4K with slipcover, so I'm gonna be using that to watch and this to just stare at. It's a hobby, I would say, there's a
Yeah,
thin line between the hobby and the hoarding, but I feel like when it's something like this that I can actually get enjoyment from, or it's just something that I want in my collection, because it's I wouldn't say one of my favorite films, but definitely one of my favorite adaptations. The Blu-ray for this already looked so good that I could only imagine how beautiful the 4K is gonna look, but I still had to have it. I didn't need it, but I wanted it. It was only about $50, but $50 goes a long way sometimes
well,
of
no,
daily life.
hey, dollars at $50, man,
Yeah,
that goes a long way, especially
yeah.
especially with the way prices are right now.
Yeah, and it's something that a lot of people don't have either, because a lot of the movie collectors, movie influencers probably didn't get this sent out to them, but the other one that I have completely sealed is the version for A Clockwork Orange. I told you that I saw this, I didn't even look at the price. Basically, it's just plastic all over. It's like it's plastic inside plastic. I don't know if you've seen those that they do at Walmart. They have one for it, so it looks like a VHS. It's not a VHS, and it's just like a
Right,
lighting or something. I don't know what the hell it is. So that's what I
yeah,
thought it was. When I saw it, I was like, "Oh, it's another one of those shitty things that they're doing now that looks like a VHS, but it's not." And then when I picked it up, it was like, "Oh, limited edition 4K." I didn't even notice this was a 4K. Like I said, I dropped it in my cart. I ran the hell out of there. I think it was like a few months ago, and I bought this maybe like I would say like a year or two. A few months ago, I was looking to watch A Clockwork Orange, and I read that it said 4K Ultra HD. I was like, "Wait, what the fuck? This is a 4K? I thought this was like a Blu-ray or a DVD." For the price, it was a steal. I think it was like 20 pounds or 25 pounds. Easily translate to like 100 US dollars because our dollar sucks internationally. This edition, I don't even know what's in it, to be honest. It doesn't have any pictures in the back of what the content inside is. I
right.
could only assume.
So because you're not gonna open it, you have no
Oh,
idea.
no.
It's a complete mystery.
Oh, so I'm reading the bottom. This has been on that cubic shelf for so long that I just go in it, I pull it out every now and then. I was like, "Hey, babe," and I put it back in. But
Right.
it's a Titans of Cult. So I guess that's the label who put it out. Celebrating iconic cinema through unique home video releases featuring new created artwork paired with thoughtfully curated collectibles. It does have a little keychain of a triangle. It's the milk bar. So it has like one of the statues of the milk bar, but in a little triangle. Oh, it's a pin. I'm trying to turn the movie to the side to see if I can see beyond. So it's a pin, it's not a keychain. So it says like this 2 disc set includes a Clockwork Orange on 4K Ultra HD and Blu-ray, a collectible steelbook case, so it is a steelbook. That's why it's heavy. And two
Yeah.
two unique pins. I only see one, so I'm assuming. Oh, okay. There is another pin up there right behind the label. It's just covered by the title and the box, but I guess I think it's orange. Yo, I don't want to open this. If I see another edition, I'm probably gonna buy it just so I can open it. But yeah, it has two pins. It has the 4K steelbook. It is pretty heavy. I'm discovering this as we go. I'm loving this box set even more.
And I definitely get it's one of those things where it's like, it's so nice, you just don't even wanna open it. And, like, literally just this week, I bought this, I believe it's a German release, the Blair Witch
Oh wow.
Collection. So
Yeah.
it's got, original Blair Witch Project, it's got Book of Shadows, and it's got the 2016 Blair Witch. So it's got all 3 of them in here, but it's one of those things that I literally bought it just because I like the cover. I already have all the movies individually, so I'm never this is gonna stay sealed. This is just gonna sit on the shelf and be another
And
a
the cover itself looks pretty nice, because I was just trying to figure it out because like, the lighting doesn't let me see what was in front of her, so I guess it's, like, the little stick figurines, which that's pretty nice.
yeah,
And
that's
is
all
that a
this is.
steel book or is that,
So this is actually I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna open it, so I'm not 100% sure. It looks like it opens up almost like it's got, like, a cover, like, I take this off and it's, like, sitting inside of here.
Oh, okay.
So,
Okay.
I'm not sure exactly. I'm gonna have to look up a video of somebody else opening this up because I literally have no idea what is inside of here. Same way that you are with
Yeah.
the Clockwork release. I
And
have no idea what's going on in there.
I feel like that's what I'll probably do for this episode. I'll probably just tag YouTube videos of other people ruining their collection,
Right,
so we don't
right.
have to
Let
ruin
them ruin it
ours.
for you.
I'm like, "You open it, I'll talk about it." Like I told you, Kubrick is one of my favorites, and I have, like 4 or 5 different editions of 2001: Space Odyssey, and this one I have open because this was the first 4K that I bought. The only one that I'm missing is the one that is this same red edition, because this is the HDR edition that has the red cover in the front. So it comes with like the cards, the little postcards inside. So it's like a little envelope with the cards, which check them out. It was pretty nice. Nothing to brag about really. But the box set itself, this is what I like having when I collect different directors. I wish that somebody did something like this for John Waters, because I mentioned to you that Pedro Almodovar is one of the people that I collect, and before when we were having a conversation, I told you that I bought a bunch of his films when I was traveling. I seen the box set for Pedro, which has most of his films, not all of his films, and there's a white box out there that is so freaking beautiful. It has, I think, the majority of his films, obviously not the new ones, and it's such a beautiful box. It's a Spanish box, but I'm like, that's the kind of respect that sometimes I'm like, if we did that in the US, I don't think it would be as well done as some of these other countries tend to do. And you posting the one for the German release for Blair Witch, and
Yep.
in Germany, I feel like it's I've been seeing not just you now, but other collectors posting things from Germany. Uh, their releases are so well done. I mean, Australia is lucky. Australia has
Umbrella
Umbrella, second side is Australia, no?
via second site Australia? Second site might be Australia. I know Via Vision
Viavision is
and
Australian, yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
Viavision is Australian. I know they have a few boutiques over there that I mean, those I have the one for John Waters that I got recently through Movie Room. The Cecile B. Demented release that Umbrella did. I wish a lot of John Water films would get that treatment here because I love collecting John Waters. I need Pecker on, even if it's on Blu-ray, I need Pecker in a nice box like this. It's just a slipcover. It's nothing fancy. It's a slipcover Blu-ray edition, but it's so nicely done. Like, the quality of the cover art is nicely done. And for me who collects John Waters, that is something I need to have in my collection. But the movie's so well done. And then putting it in that box, in that cover art, it was just cherry on top, to be honest.
I had over here to show off was basically the Friday the 13th. I'm gonna switch it up because I feel like because of course my favorite franchise is Halloween, and I feel like my absolute grail of physical media is it's not even necessarily a official release. It's a custom box set that I can't remember the guy's actual name, but Blockbuster Box Sets made a custom Halloween box set that I purchased a couple years ago at this point. I've started even getting it signed, but it's incredible. So you got the front of the box, and I got Tom Morga from Halloween 4 on the front there. I got Tyler Main on the side. Then this side, you got the 2018 trilogy. Then you got the top, which if I can do this without everything falling out, you got the scene from Halloween 2, and I got Dick Warlock to sign the top there. But this release is insane. Just the care that went into this is better than almost anything I've ever seen from an actual boutique label. You got the outer box, and then each movie has a hard cover that holds the actual release of the film. So you got regular artwork on the front or the standard box art, and then custom art on the back of each hard art case for each film. But I wanted to share that because I just think honestly, even though it's not an official release from like a label, that is probably easily one of the best pieces of physical media I own. And it's not the movies themselves because it was just the box I got from Blockbuster Box Sets, but that easily elevates the whole franchise for me
No.
because now I got basically made that my 4K collection.
Yeah.
I got the standard Blu-ray collection from Screen Factory back in the day. I got that, on my shelf back there. But this is easily my favorite piece that I own.
That looks gorgeous. Honestly, there's a lot of these people that are doing these custom box sets. To drop a name, last movie standing, Brian, he did a custom box set for Ready or Not. I don't know if he started the Etsy store yet. I think he's in the process of doing so. I gotta ask him though. I want to order that because I had the standard Blu-ray for the movie. I mean, a lot of these people, they're just doing such great jobs. And when I told you the reason I wanted to do this, venture in this crazy world of podcasting was to highlight and spotlight people like that and that kind of work because we can't always be spending money on boutique labels. The one that I'm going to show you next, this is the box set for the DVD of Nightmare
Ah,
on Elm Street. I spent $25 on this. I opened them all. I wiped them. There's a little bit of lint there, but I think it's fine. I opened up all the
sitting
DVDs.
on the shelf. That happens.
Yeah, I opened up all the DVDs. There's one that's like a tiny bit of damage, but I think it's also because when I was cleaning them, I was a little bit careless. I think one of them fell, and I think it was the encyclopedia disc. They all have this beautiful, small, minimal, but beautiful cover and they had the movie covers and stuff like that. And then it has this little booklet, which is Freddy there. It actually has the glasses for the 3D version
Yes.
of the movie. And the glasses were inside a little package. So they weren't used or anything. They were pretty brand new. Yeah, the box has a little bit, tear on the sides and stuff like that. But the person had them all opened up so you can see the quality of the disc when I got the DVDs, I went through them. I was like, not a scratch in the world. I was surprised because I don't know how old this is. I looked up how much it was going to be if it was new. I think it was like above 150. And I was like,
When it
nope.
was brand
No, no. Now for resale, brand new resale
new.
right now. Yeah, right now, I think it was on Amazon that it was like above 150. And I was like, no. No. The reason I wanted this was because it also has Freddy in the back with, the claws and the knife fingers or the whatever, the glove is so well done.
Yes, I'll
And
be honest with you, like, that set, I also I got that same set I got for about 30 bucks, like, maybe a year and a half ago or so, and I'll be honest, even after getting the new set, which I still have that new set, the 4K set, still sealed because it's so nice, I just don't even wanna mess with it. But to be completely honest, that DVD set still, in my opinion, outdoes the new 4K set. And I don't care what
yeah.
anybody says. So the new 4K set is nice, it's premium, but it does not have the character that that DVD set has. The DV like you said, the fact that the spines of each film
Yeah.
come together to make Freddy, the, like, slight embossing and bronze tone that's throughout the entire, like, outer box, I would have preferred them to do a version of that box. Maybe if you still wanna do steelbooks, maybe you do steelbooks, but a version of that box with the spines still, like, making the picture of Freddy, I would have probably preferred that over, because even though I like the 4K set, I still kind of feel like they did, like, bare minimum, you know what I mean? The box is Freddy's sweater, which is cool, but I don't think anything crazy. I mean, it's literally just his sweater with some tears and stuff like that. It's nothing, it's nice, but it's not, like, above and beyond, you know what I mean?
I had so much to say about that box set when it came out. I knew I threw a lot of hate out there for, I wouldn't say people who bought it, because I'm not gonna say people who bought it. I'm gonna say for people who pushed it. They're a pusher. There's a lot of pushers out there. But there was a lot of people pushing that box set like they were pushing pills. And I'm like, dude, it's a sweater. It's a fucking sweater. I'm like, you have Freddy. Well, you're really antagonizing me. I love Wes Craven. Wes Craven was rolling over in his grave when release came out because, so you know how Wes Craven has like the cameo and he's wearing like the Freddy outfit in Scream. So he's wearing that Freddy outfit. I'm like, it would have been so dope if it would have been, a tribute to him, but it wasn't. Like, it was just, Freddy's sweater. But because
Mhm.
it's just Freddy's sweater and it's an ultimate collection Freddy, because again, they put it as the ultimate collection. I expected more because you haven't opened it, but I'm pretty sure that if you open it in the inside, there's nothing. There's nothing in the inside but the disc.
Yeah,
And
it's literally steelbooks, and again, the front cover of each steelbook is the original, like, poster art,
yeah,
which I do like that in a way, but at the same time, like you said, it's steelbooks. There's nothing really extra in there. It's just the steelbook, the discs, and you get a pair of glasses, and that's like it.
yeah. I think somebody got theirs damaged. I saw a YouTube video and their box. Look, I'm not insulting anybody. You get what you pay for. But given that you spend, I don't know how much you spend, but I know that person spent almost $300 and is the aluminum, the steel book was dented.
Mm.
I didn't get joy out of that. Sometimes I do get joy out of other people's misery, but that person he's a really nice person. That's why I felt bad because he bought that. He bought that release. And I order movies from the movie room and from Orbit, and they wrap it up like, you're protecting it from the next pandemic. They're so nicely boxed and it doesn't touch the box at no side. You're telling me that I spent $300 on a sweater? If that would have come with the steelbook, if you have a nice, cute,
Like Freddy's sweater.
crocheted sweater, Yeah,
Right.
attached to the steelbook, one, it wouldn't have been damaged, and two, it would have been worth something. It would have been worth the $300 because right now I have the first part. So is that a middle finger up for me? Are you telling me now that the other four are not going to come out in that steelbook edition that I have because you put out the ultimate steelbook edition and now I'm stuck with just the first part?
And to be honest with you, I think what they're actually gonna do, according to what I've seen online, apparently they're gonna do another run of the Steelbook collections later this year, but also, I still feel like they're gonna try to squeeze as much out of people as possible. I still feel like down the line, all of a sudden you're gonna see Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Nightmare on Elm
Yeah.
Street 4 start popping up as single releases. Because once the well dries up, I feel like the same thing they do with all like horror franchise, like big horror franchises, especially Halloween. If they can get away with putting another version out or another something out that they can get like, so I definitely think that a solo version of part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5 is gonna happen down the line. I think it just depends
Yeah.
on, like, timing and, after the well dries up with the collection, because there's no way they're passing up. There's no way they're not gonna, cash in
Yeah.
on the fact that so many people missed out on that collection last year, and they know it. They know that there's people itching to buy it. So they're definitely I feel like they're for sure eventually gonna come out with more.
Well, and yours is sealed. You're not opening yours anytime soon. I'm
Right.
not buying unless that goes down to $80. I'm not buying it because again, I already have the first part. They can still take money from people like me that I have the first part. I don't want to buy the steelbook box set because one, it doesn't attract me.
Right.
Two, I already had the first part. Why would I buy the steelbook box set? I just want the other ones separately. You showed a beautiful box set done by an independent artist. I would rather invest money in that. And there's people who are doing it, by the way, too. There's people who I think what they did was that they took out the movies from the sweater box and they put them in a custom made box that they
Yes,
did.
and
And it looks
you
way
know what's
better.
crazy too? The same, like, person, like, Blockbuster box sets and the artist who did the artwork on this set, which is, Mariano Matos.
Mm.
I hope I'm saying his name right. But they partnered up again, and we're gonna make a box set for Nightmare on Elm Street. They were gonna do the same thing they did with the Halloween collection, but they were gonna do it for Nightmare on Elm Street, and the artwork looked amazing. Like, the artist was posting on Instagram, like, you know, updates as he was doing each individual Nightmare on Elm Street, and then I'm not sure what happened, I'm not gonna get into the weeds about what occurred, but because of the Nightmare on Elm Street collection that they were doing, apparently the studio must have stepped in and told them, "Cut it out.
Yeah, of
You're not
course.
doing that."
Of course.
So so I ordered it. I literally ordered the Nightmare on Elm Street collection from them, but then, like, a month and a half or 2 months later, it got canceled and I got refunded because they weren't able to do it, but it was gonna look when I tell you it was gonna look 10,000 times better than that box that looks like a sweater. It was gonna
Yeah.
look so good.
Yeah. That's my argument against studios. I say support boutique labels more than studios, but again, we're still gonna go buy it. They're gonna, we suck at the tit of these major studios. People are like, "Oh, you vote with your dollar. We don't want to buy Disney stuff until Disney gives us all the other releases that they're hiding and they're keeping from us." And
Right.
yeah, you still do. You get it from them. You get it from your major studio. I don't know if you saw my comment on Instagram where a few weeks ago people are like, "Oh, physical media is dying," and all of a sudden the movie that came out this week, they're excited about, and all of a sudden, physical media is alive.
There we go. It's
So,
alive again.
uh,
Every week it's alive again.
yeah, every time they get something that they like, physical media is alive.
Really spotlight, really spotlight, really spotlight, really spotlight, light.
I wanted to do a release spotlight segment within the episode because I wanted to incorporate it into this because again, it has to do more with the cover art than anything. But the release for this week that was Fight Club. So a lot of people were gagging over it. This little soapbox that they did. Last week when I said I was gonna go on a rant if this release, which is one of my favorite David Fincher films, this and Seven. I think that what they did with Seven, a lot of people hated it. These collectors, they don't know what they want anymore. I love that Seven digipack. Oh, but it doesn't align with my other DVD 4Ks. Like it just bumps out. I don't care. They were complaining about Train Spotting in the Criterion collection because it pops out from the rest of the collection.
Right.
Like it's too thin, it's too long, the measurements and this. I'm like, you complain if you get the same thing over and over, and then you complain if you get something different.
Def
I
yeah.
I loved the 7 4K edition, the little booklet that they put out. I loved it. It doesn't go with my horror section. I put it in the horror section because technically it's a thriller, but I don't have a thriller section. I don't care. It doesn't align with my other movies, but I feel like comparing these 2 edition, you have the Blu-ray that I bought in the good old days of Best Buy. This was like $10,
Mm,
Best Buy. It has the same soap in the back, smaller,
right.
but it's in the back. This is still sealed, by the way. Like this
I see that.
Blu-ray is still sealed. It's not gonna be open. Imma open this because guess what? I like this one less.
Right.
This one,
Right.
it comes with the same commentaries. The only difference is I think this one has HDR, but it doesn't have any Dolby Vision, which, to be honest, and I know this might be a total different argument when it comes to the quality was between Dolby Vision and HDR. I think this movie itself will look good because it has a lot of neon lighting, and I don't like Blade Runner, but what I do like is that when it's a 4K well done, you have those colors, especially like the reds and the neon colors just popping out of the screen. And this one has gotten great review for that. Sadly, it doesn't have Dolby Atmos, which I think it would have been great because at this point, everybody should have seen the movie. But when they're fighting, I feel like those punches would have sounded great in Dolby Atmos.
Right.
And this is just, again, the same commentaries by David. They have the same stuff as the Blu-ray, writer's commentary, technical commentaries. The making of the sound is basically all the same. The only difference is the picture quality that they upgraded, which, okay, look, I'm fine. And right
Right.
now, between these two, if I'm putting out a 4K, this is what I want. I want the two main characters with this neon, I don't know why it's pink. I guess pink because of the the soap.
It's a little lazy. I feel like when they do stuff like that, it's just a little bit lazy. I like simplistic art. I don't like things if it's too overcomplicated or oversaturated with different things going on. But I truthfully, when I see that cover, I just think that someone was lazy and just said, take the bar of soap, blow it up,
Yeah,
put it on the cover.
no, for sure. The reason I knew I was gonna flip on this is because I thought that the lettering on the soap, I know it's a lot to ask, but I don't know what you call it. I think it's the goosebump books when you pass your hand, the little bumps. I thought that's what it was gonna be. I think it's called not unboxing,
Oh, you
but
mean like embossing?
embossing and not unboxing. Jesus Christ, my brain is fried, dude.
Sorry, you were clear. The one for that, I wouldn't have got it. You said unboxing. I was like, "Wait a minute, I
Yeah,
know it."
I'm trying to, because I love Goosebump books, and I don't know if you collect Goosebumps or if you read Goosebumps when you were young, but the
Right.
lettering is one of the best things of those books. But then they did the re-release of the books, and they did a beautiful tin box of Goosebumps.
Mhm.
And
Is
it
that
had
the one that, like, with Barnes& and Noble had?
yeah, because I used to work at
Yeah.
Barnes& and Noble. Yeah, so, they had those, and I bought them. I was so fucking excited, and I got they're like, "Oh, it has Welcome to the Dead House," which is the OG first book, one of my favorite. I get home, I open it. I do the goosebump test, which is like, oh, let's see if it's real goosebumps. Nope, no bumps. So I'm like,
Yep.
the tin box has the embossing, the books do not. So
So,
then what I did is that I went on eBay. I think I spent like 20 something dollars plus shipping buying one of the original prints of Welcome to the Dead House. A little pissed because it's a little damaged, but it's one of the first prints. And I remember buying the first print in Scholastic. I think you're too young to remember when Scholastic used to do the school
oh yeah.
fairs. Like, yo,
I'm not too young. I went to the Scholastic school fair.
my allowance.
Parents for money, begging them so I could
Mhm.
get something.
No, it's funny because like I would tell my mom, like, I need money for the school book fair. Oh, but I'm like, I could be doing drugs. You should be thankful that
Right.
I'm buying books and I'm not buying drugs.
Right.
And she's like, oh, but you shouldn't be doing that. I'm like, yeah, I know I shouldn't be doing drugs, but if you don't give me money for books, you could give me money for drugs.
Mom, if you don't give me money for these books, I'm smoking crack.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was this little um secondhand shop and they would sell all the Goosebumps for like a quarter. And that's where I got another edition. I think it was a Haunted Mask, if I'm not mistaken. That was an original print for 25 cents. And then trying to find those now for $20, $30. I was like, get the fuck out of here. I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah.
And they'll live in my
That's
memory.
how it is. It blows up. It becomes popular.
Yeah.
There's nostalgia with it now. So now people take something that shouldn't be that much money, and they bump up the price because they know if you can't really find it anywhere else, you're going to pay them.
Yeah.
You're going to give them the money because it's something that, like, especially if you grew up with Goosebumps and all, it's something that's kind of like a childhood like nostalgia thing. So like, of course, you're going to dish out the money for it.
Yeah. I know we were talking about previously before we started recording. And I told you I wanted to save that conversation for now for release spotlight because the other one that we got some sort of news is the Halloween box set. And I know from your experience, I want you to tell your little side of the story when it comes to I'm not interested in it, to be honest. I'm not gonna go run and buy the Halloween box set. I know it's your favorite movie. That's why I said let's cut the conversation, save it for later. Because I want to know your experience with with the pumpkin.
Yeah. The pumpkin that I'll never see, the pumpkin that broke my heart. So look, Halloween's my favorite franchise, and I double dip on Halloween 10,000 times over, but I will never buy the Viavision imprint Steelbox 1 through 5 set. When they first announced it with the pumpkin, to be completely honest, I own these movies so many times over. I don't need these movies. And doing 1 through 5 doesn't make a lot of sense to me because you're literally stopping in the middle of the Thorn trilogy. So it's like you're not even completing a timeline really in the Halloween franchise. So, they came out with it. I thought, you know what? The pumpkin is worth it. Like as a collector, as someone who loves Halloween, that the stupid pumpkin looked awesome. It was gonna hold the steel books. I was all in. I was like, you know what? Screw it. Take my money. I want the pumpkin. Then, it was supposed to be like a Halloween release. So in October, it was supposed to release. October comes along. Of course, well, let me actually hold on. Let me back up for a second. When it was announced, it was limited to 1,000 copies. And as a collector, I was like, limited to 1,000 and it's a Halloween 1 pumpkin replica? Absolutely. Let's just do it. Then, after like 2 or 3 weeks, they saw the popularity, I guess, start growing. So they decided, you know what? We're going to take advantage of this. You know how we said it was strictly limited to 1,000 copies? Nah, it's actually going to be 2,000 copies now. So already, I'm not one, like, I'm not going to be like a gatekeeper. Like, hey, more power to people now that it's, more widely available so more people can get it. But as a collector, when a company comes out and says, this is going to be strictly limited to this number, part of me buying it was under the assumption of, you know what, as a collector, you know what, I think I'm going to do it. Limited to 1,000. Halloween's my favorite franchise. It's got the pumpkin. Everything's kind of coming together, making it worth pushing it over that line of, is it worth for me to buy, even though I know it's overpriced? So then October comes along. It's supposed to release. Right before it's supposed to release in October, they come out with a notice saying, hey, we're running into problems with shipping, or we're running into problems with the, production. So this is actually going to be delayed until December, which I'm already kind of, look, I'm not going to get crazy upset about it. It's like things happen. Even though I would like my Halloween set to come on Halloween, because that's pretty cool. If I have to wait till Christmas to get my Halloween set, I'll be okay with that. So I was like, no big deal. Not a big deal. I'll just wait until December. I'll get my pumpkin. So December comes along, which never getting that pumpkin. December comes along. They send me an email. I sent them an email in like the beginning of December because they had given no update. And I was starting to get a little like worried about it. I was like, what's going on with my pumpkin? So I sent them an email asking, is it still, supposed to ship this month? They sent me an email back with a confirmation that my package was going to ship soon. So I'm thinking, oh, we're all good to go. We're straight. Then a week later, they do the big update where they announce that the pumpkin didn't pass their final inspection and it was going to break in shipping. So they're going to cancel the pumpkin altogether and they're going to put it in a steel box, kind of how the Nightmare on Elm Street set is. Yeah. 1 through 5, they're going to put it in a steel box and it's going to be delayed another 5 months. And if you already had an order, you could either cancel or you could get a slight discount. And when I say slight, I mean slight. They weren't giving you much of your money back. They were giving you a little bit. And then they were like, we'll give you a slight discount and then, you can keep your order. Well, I mean, at that point I was done. You had lied to me. You had sent me an email saying it was shipping. You had delayed it once already. You had already basically took the strictly limited to 1,000 and made it 2,000, which, okay. All that together just turned me off to the set completely. As much as I love Halloween, I don't ever see myself buying that set purely based on the fact that all I'm going to do if I look at that set is think about the pumpkin that I'm never going to have. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I know stuff happens, but I think that Viavision and Imprint dropped the ball on this one entirely. You get a franchise like Halloween, you want to make it special. You want to make it right. I mean, left and right, they were just failing with this set.
Yeah, no, going into the Halloween, hearing from your experience is why I always say like this, and this is a boutique label. This is not a major studio or anything like that, but sometimes biting more than you can chew is is also a bad way to go about things. And I feel like the experience that a lot of people are probably going through right now with that release, and I'm not gonna lie, it did look nice. I wasn't gonna get it whether it was a pumpkin or not, but because I already had the Halloween Screen Factory, but it did look good for some people who have a massive display of 4Ks, and you see these videos with people's massive rooms and collections that I'm like, one day, but I really can't maintain that. It would have looked great, and the pumpkin did look great. And I feel sorry for that experience. That would have been, I would say, a killer collection, and then dropping it in that steel book, it was an insult.
Yeah, big time. And I mean, when again, I had plans, like, as after I bought it, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, this is probably going to be like the centerpiece of my collection. Like, I'm going to have a Halloween 1 pumpkin with steel books, in the back. Like, this is going to be like a centerpiece of my collection. And, you know, some people, I've watched videos on this, and some of the like people on YouTube and Instagram, like the content creators in the space, I understand that they give Viavision an imprint. They're giving them some grace because they're saying like, well, at least they recognize the issue before they sent out a pumpkin that got broke for everybody, which I agree. I think that's way better than the alternative of everybody getting their pumpkin broke. But if you're a major, if you're like with imprint being such a boutique label, if you had the idea of the pumpkin with the steelbooks before you even announced that you were going to do a pumpkin with steelbooks, you should have had a prototype made and then shipped it to the United States and back. And if it passed, you're good to go. If it didn't, you know that you can't do that. Why overpromise something when you weren't even sure of it in the first place? It's like, did you not make a prototype? Did you not even know how it was gonna work? You just like kind of like you like winged it. And then when it didn't work, you were like, sorry guys. They said that they made the pumpkins and they didn't pass the test, but I'm wondering, there's no way they had all those sets made
Mhm.
and they just trashed all the pumpkins. They had to have like ran into this with the test that they made after they announced it. That's what I would assume. I mean, I don't know for sure, but I just feel like it's just like as a studio like that, a boutique label that does some very nice releases. Like I have an imprint release right here that is insanely premium.
Oh yeah, the keep. Yeah,
It's the key.
the
So
keep
like
box
they
set. Yeah.
do nice stuff, but like you can't drop the ball like that. Like if you're gonna promise something like that, they should have known already how structurally sound the pumpkin was gonna be, if it could make it in shipping. That shouldn't be something you find out 5 months or 4 months after you order the product.
I'll give you the last word on that topic because again, you've had more experience with that than I have. I really admire people like you that take not just good care of their collection, but it's also very meticulous with their collection, with what they buy. And yeah, the keep box set I've seen it is a pretty nice box set. I have a few, the Portuguese one and the Shining one, which is I forgot their names, the company that puts them out. But I have
Yeah.
those. Yeah, I have those. I'm not opening those either. So the
Film
best they
film
feel.
vault.
Huh?
Film vault.
Oh, the film
I
vault.
think that's
Yes, the film vault.
yeah.
Yes, the film vault. All right, John. Before we go, please tell people where they can find you. Also, the creator for the box set that you mentioned. We're gonna try to see if we can put his website here at the bottom in the show note, and I would also put your information in the show notes. But let people know where they can find you, where they can follow you.
Yeah, absolutely. If people want to follow me, they can follow me on Instagram at it's spooky season 95, but it's spelled SPKY underscore SZN 95. And of course, I just, post updates and pictures of my collection to share with people. But also, the creator of the box sets, I want to be honest, I'm not sure. I haven't updated myself on what he's been doing recently. So the creator himself, Blockbuster Box Sets, I'm not sure if he's still doing it because I don't know what kind of legality situation or what kind of situation he got into to like kind of stop making the box sets for a while. But I will say we definitely should tag the guy who does the artwork on it, Mariano Matos. I mean, he is insanely talented. And the art on these Halloween boxes are some of my favorite, just artwork in general, that I own in my collection. So I definitely think we should shout him out because he's real good.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll definitely do that. I'm also gonna be tagging out some gonna see if I can get some of the other people that I know do custom box sets. Trying to ask their permission to tag them in the show notes as well. But thank you so much, John, for joining me today on this episode of the Physical Cut. You can follow me at the Physical Cut Pod on Instagram or at Carlos Ruben 2.0. That's KRLOZ RUBEN 2.0. And we'll see you guys next time.